Hello, this is Yehna.
And this is Jessie.
We are excited to be back with another episode. We wrestled through many different questions, but today we wanted to invite you and discuss about the TCK struggles of deepening relationships. So welcome and join us at
At
the
the table.
table.
So today we are talking about some of the pretty common TCK things that we hear about. And so we're just going to tackle one and talk about it. But like Anna said, it's going to be the whole thing about you. Wait, sorry, what was it again? Oh my gosh, I blanked.
How we think everyone will leave eventually. So don't get close. I won't be here very long. So it's not worth investing in friendships.
That one.
I
Sorry, it's
got you,
been a
girl.
long day.
Yes.
Yes. So, how has that looked like in the past growing up? And then how has that kind of been the case for you as of now? Something that I can think of off the top of my head is my current work situation. I started off my career being like, okay, I'm only going to be here for 2 years. So, like, let's be friendly and let's make sure everybody likes me, but like, we don't have to go further than that. And
Hmm.
now it's been 4 years and I'm like, shoot, maybe I should start getting to know people. So this past year or two has been really nice just to enjoy the company of my coworkers and really
Hmm.
get to know their personal lives, like know their kids' names, know their husbands and what they do for work, and know which vacations they're going on and stuff. So I'm finally experiencing like the joys of it, but it definitely took a while for me to dip my feet in and get it wet and all that stuff. So, how
Hmm.
about you, Yenna?
I guess to back up, it's just always been difficult the idea of friendships were very difficult for me. And whether that would be in my job or church or just friends in general. But the funny thing is, I didn't even know I had a skewed view of friendships and relationships until friends would call me out on it. Because up to that point, I just did not find a reason for them to stay if they didn't put in effort. Because everyone in my community who decided to stay were in my life since baby, and they would stay there till college. And those who didn't stay till college were irrelevant to me in my mind
Mm,
because, and it probably was like out of a hurt response. I mean, not probably, it was. So then going to college and then also going to job, sometimes I think I would either overcompensate or undercompensate. So in the
mm,
undercompensate is like when people would, not reach out, I wouldn't reach out and just because like why would I put that kind of energy and effort?
mhm,
But then for those who I thought would be worth my time, I would literally give everything to the point I would like genuinely get physically sick. And so just finding the balance, and especially because when it came to work, because of the type of work we do, Jesse and I, we have to invest our heart and our mind and to these kids and to our coworkers. And so sometimes I would find myself go like always taking work home, not like physically, but mentally. And so because I would try to give so much of myself because I would think I'm not here that long. So I need to put all the influence I can before I dip out. Or if something would be too messy, I was always 1 foot out the door. Mm. So
mm,
obviously, as we probably shared a lot throughout our podcast journey, you could see the growth in our mindset, but for sure, it's still an internal tug of how much do I give my heart before they hurt it, That's always, why do you always think they're gonna hurt you? So
mm,
trying to shift that mindset for sure.
mm. Wait, so then question, how do you view friends that you haven't kept in touch with in a while and then you
Mm,
happen to catch up and it's as if nothing has changed? Where do those friendships lie in terms of your realm of friends?
I think something that's helped me so much, maybe this is purely Yenna Kim's perspective of what's helped me. I would not say or recommend this for everyone, but it came down to personality. I believe that for obviously for the friends that I just don't keep in touch with on a daily basis and nothing were to have happened for us to not keep in touch, if there's just nothing, no reason for us to do, what am I saying? if there's basically no beef, basically what I'm saying, then the only thing I could think of is we're just not the texting type. We're not the calling type. And therefore, there's no reason to be like hurt by it because we're equally just on the same page of how we are feeling about each other. Obviously, for those that like I do really care for, but still don't contact on a daily basis. Something I've challenged myself is whenever something does remind me of them, is that I would be the first to contact. Something I would always struggle with was I would be too much, or I'm intruding in their space, or why would I do that if they won't, are not going to reciprocate? So there was this type of, if they don't do it, I'm not going to do it kind of mindset as well. So I had to completely obliterate that mindset and say, Yena, it's just what you felt and you do it, and you have no control over how they respond. As of now, the growth for me, it might seem like a obvious thing for some people, but for me, the growth thing is that there are no heavy emotions involved that are negative because sometimes I put too much thought into maybe a response or no response. But now it's just I have control over what I have to say or what I want to do to express my love for these people. And if they don't reciprocate, that's it. And also like if I also try to put myself in their shoe in the sense that if Yena Kim didn't respond and they were always hurt by my absence, then it speaks to them not knowing me truly either. So I don't know. That's been where I'm at. And it's helped me. And so far, nobody's come at me for it.
Actually, I've been holding
Oh my
resentment for
gosh.
you always not responding to my text right away.
LOL.
And
I
I don't
love you.
know,
I
maybe
love
we need
you.
like a friendship intervention.
I love you, Jessie.
Again, it's like those who know you and will stick
Mhm.
it out with you will stick it out with you.
Right.
And again, I'm not saying like, oh my gosh, like ignore all you want. And because that's just who you are, like there's a
For
balance to
sure.
that,
Oh,
right? But
1000%.
it's like when you get to like the meat of like, okay, why is she that way? Like
Mm,
there's no ill intention. So let's try to understand her better. And when you get to that point, then you're a true friend. But if you're just like, oh, she's not responding, she doesn't care, then then there's some disconnect there. But I feel like I was the opposite from you growing up. For me, it's all about the way you express things and the way that you show
mm,
things. And so if my friend wasn't responding or being too involved in communicating, that would equate to the depth or the depth that they would value my friendship.
mm,
So I would always get confused if, even though I considered this person a really good friend, if they wouldn't respond as well or lengthy or in
mm,
a timely manner, I would be like, oh, I guess I care so much more than they do because I know that I would always give them a response. And then I'm sure on the other end, it just is a little suffocating. So I've had to do a
What?
lot of growing with that
Yeah,
and understanding that everybody has a different way of expressing themselves and showing up. And just
right,
because you show up in this way and you think that's the best way doesn't mean that that's the right way.
right.
So getting to that point has been very challenging for me. But with that being said, then because of that, it's so hard to commit to investing in relationships because there's that added layer of you're moving or the other people around you are moving or your environment always changes. And yeah, it's definitely difficult.
I think it's just like that mindset of why try if we know where they're gonna go. I don't mean just like, oh, because they're leaving and this an emissional mindset is kind of like how life cycle because we were so used to people leaving in their term, like some people are like long term, aka 2-year commitment, and then they leave after 2 years. And so I think my brain kind of like shifted after, especially it doesn't help that we have like school terms. After the school term, someone might leave. So why should I give my heart so much to these people if they're gonna go? But then I always come back to this, but my dad always says it's not about who stays, it's about what you give during the time they are here. And so whether it's 30 seconds or 30 years, think about how much you can love on them and what you can learn from them. That has been kind of my anger in making sure to check with myself in oh, am I putting my foot out the door because something's inconveniencing me? Or
Mm,
especially because of the context of where my parents lived, when someone was getting too close was for me was an alarm, like a red alarm, because I'm like, what are they trying to do with this information? Are they going to try to use it against me? Or what do they want to know from me? Why do they want to get close to me? So sometimes I know this sounds so bad, but when someone loves me too much, I immediately am so repulsed.
AKA our first year friendship question mark? What?
Too much. I can't even with myself. And so like I immediately get very cold. And I hate that about myself because quite literally all they're doing is that they're showing me love. Making sure that I check with my heart is that that's my like physical response of shutting down because I'm scared or
Mm.
making sure to say, is there something that's truly bothering me or am I being dramatic?
Well, it's that whole self-preservation, right? Of
Oh,
I'm
yes.
I'm going to be selfish and not give my love so that I don't get hurt or that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Recently, though, I've been learning to let myself miss people because that is not a part of my brain that I've allowed myself to access.
Whoa.
Me and my pride thinking like, oh, I don't know the concept of missing people. I'm just like so much better than that. And I know how to move on and I know how to turn my brain off and forget about it. And yeah, missing people is not productive. And I'm like, hold on, time out. Missing people is a part of your emotions and it's a part of a process. You're
Wow.
allowed to, it's again going back to the grief tower. You're allowed to grieve.
Hmm.
So it's uncomfortable to miss people right now, but I do miss people. And I am trying to communicate that. And it's uncomfortable in that process because I feel, I don't know, wimpy
That
that
is
I'm like,
so
oh, I miss
crazy.
you. But yep, that's something that I've currently been learning to do.
Oh man. Oh, feel convicted. I don't think I ever miss people. Ever.
But
Oof.
why is that?
Oh
Because
man,
I
that's
think deep
so
down
good.
you do, but you just don't allow yourself to feel that.
I remember I saw this like Instagram reel and one person, she was just talking about her family and she was like, I'm just like naturally nostalgic person. And it made me pause for a second and think, I am not a nostalgic person. I'm a let's move on person or like not think about it, period. Why? Why would I allow myself to be in a position where I could be hurting or in pain? I equate missing people, I think, as pain and
Yeah.
that's a bad thing.
Yeah. It's a negative emotion.
Oh, I thought I was over this.
Clearly, there's
I,
more to learn and grow from from
yes,
both of us.
clearly. Oh my gosh. Anyway, that weirdly stabbed me.
Part two?
Part two, for sure. Always. I feel like every episode we record, part two, part three. But yeah, this concept of just allowing people to reside in your life, even though there is so much unknown in terms of the timeline, has definitely been a difficult journey. Although in time, that difficulty definitely lessens. However, like just right now, remnants of it pop up. And so we just hope that this, for the TCKs who are listening and are being triggered by our conversation, I hope that this also triggers a response of pausing and thinking about the why behind this and not just stopping there, but really thinking, oh, how has this mindset possibly impacted my current relationships? And how will it continue to impact the relationships moving forward? I hope that it was a challenge as well as a reminder that you are not alone in any of this. Thank you all for listening. And we are on Instagram and on Spotify and on YouTube and hope to share more on our next episode. Bye.
Bye.